I want to talk about the issue of conflict and also the role of conflict in intimacy, in relationships. A lot of times we think, well, in order to be in a relationship with somebody, I can't have conflict, or conflict would be a terrible thing, or there would be a problem. I have a different thought on it. If I were to think of conflict as a continuum, and on this end, I'm going to call it no conflict. Which really, there's no such thing as no conflict. Because we know that the absence of conflict is not necessarily peace. So on this end, we're going to call it violent conflict. So over here is about being passive or nice. And I can think of people sometimes that they're smiling, but you notice their teeth are gritting, and they're being nice, but there's conflict there. It might not look like there's no conflict, but there's conflict. It's the absence of conflict is not necessarily peace. So on violent conflict, we know that's not about being passive, that's about being aggressive. Where people, again, will hurt each other with their words violently or physically in some kind of way. Now, the big question becomes, well, where is intimacy in here? I don't believe that this is intimacy, and I don't believe that this is intimacy. I actually know a couple that divorced because they were really nice to each other. Matter of fact, they were so nice, and they were, whatever you want, honey, and it was whatever you want, honey, that they never really talked about anything. They never had to solve anything. They never had to figure anything out. And they were so nice, we all of us who knew them, kind of wanted to puke because we thought they deserve a good conflict and they might actually have to have a real conversation. On the other hand, we know that this is just as destructive. Violent conflict with words or physically, just as destructive. So this destroyed a relationship. This destroys a relationship. So once again, where is intimacy? I would like to suggest that intimacy is somewhere in here. When I think of intimacy, I think of it as an umbrella under which many things fall. So the umbrella of intimacy, intimacy, meaning there's got to be some honesty, trust, safety, touch, words of affirmation, quality time, emotional connectedness, gifts, acts of service, sex, whether that be hand-holding, kissing, or making out, on and on and on, etc., etc., etc. That's intimacy. So we know over here that this isn't intimacy because there's not safety and there wouldn't be trust and there's not integrity behind this and you're definitely not emotionally connecting. We know over here this lacks honesty and integrity and it lacks communication and it really lacks emotional connectedness, doing the nice thing. I had a couple once who came in and their marriage was a little rocky and they hadn't gotten out a lot together and spent time because they had, some young children and it was occupying their time. And I said, look, you need to get out and have a date night. Get out and do something. But I said, be prepared that if you have a big old stinky fight before you go, you need to just go ahead and go. Don't get into having a fight and then going, well, I'm not going because no sabotage is going to count here. So they agreed to go out, and when they came back, they told me, in a rather awkward way, that when they got in the car, one of them said, well, I'd like to go eat at this restaurant and go to that movie. And the other one said, yeah, but I wanted to go to this restaurant and that movie. In that moment that they shared that, I thought, what an amazing, beautiful thing. Because one of them was saying, hey, you want to know what rocks my boat? It would be that dinner and that movie. And the other one's going, you want to know what would rock my boat? It would be that restaurant and that movie. Now they had the opportunity to do something productive together. Not being nice and going, okay, we'll go to your dinner and your movie. Or not going, well, fine. Instead, they had the opportunity to go, okay, well, we could do yours this time and do mine next time. Or do you want to do your dinner and my movie, or my dinner and your movie? Or maybe we'll even do something totally different. Now they had the opportunity for real communication, and what a beautiful thing that is.